basically what we're kind of getting at is like what the benefits are of like being extreme,
Yeah.
whatever. Because people always talk about everything in moderation, all these kind of things, whatever. So we're just talking about what can happen if you do things that are more extreme, and this is kind of what we're pointing at, because anyone who's done anything that's worth doing in any rare way has done extremes to some degree in some area to get there. You have to, because it's too competitive to not.
Yeah.
So, touching on what you're saying with the team piece, how you can't really make it without your network, right? And I remember the one example that I could be getting the training part of this wrong, so just correct me if I'm wrong, but I think one of the things they have to do in the buds training is they got to do like the boat carry.
Yeah.
So you have a team, you have 5-6 guys or whatever, and you got to carry this boat overhead. You carry it into the water, you carry it out of the water, you roll around in the sand, have to carry it again, whatever. And it's all races, like who's finishing first, who's whatever. And so if you could be the strongest guy ever, you could be the like biggest strongman powerlifting person of all time to carry the boat by yourself, but you need the other 5 guys, because if they slow you down, you still lose.
Yeah.
Even if you're elite and great, if you're not a good leader, if you're not a good teammate, then your team loses.
Yeah.
And so now it doesn't matter as an individual how good you are, and you see this in hockey all the time. You got a guy on a team that's phenomenal, but it's not enough. You can't pull the team. Like I think the guy that just came to mind was Jack Eichel, right?
Yeah.
Fantastic player, but for whatever reason, he can't get his team out of the gutter in Buffalo. I don't know if he got traded now or not.
No, this is an issue. Like, it's funny when I listen to the media talk about this. It's funny. Even hockey players, they talk about, what are they going to do? They got to trade him. Eichel is, not happy, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, he's supposed to be the guy.
Well, he's the captain.
Yeah.
He was second overall. He's the one that signed a $10 million contract. And now he's going to management saying, I want out of here. This sucks. This isn't very good. It's like, no, you're the guy that's supposed to do it. That's why you're making $10 million a year.
You were supposed to be the guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So like a lot of people want to suck and blow at the same time.
So then there's the parallel, right? So here's a guy that's fantastic at hockey. There's nobody denying that.
Yeah.
But as a leader, as a teammate, maybe that's what the question is.
Yeah.
So he can't be successful right now in Buffalo because he's maybe missing those two pieces, right? So that's the first part I want to touch on that with the network and the teamwork thing. Then you were talking about, people from the outside looking in, how they'll think, oh, this is crazy that you guys are doing this stuff, like whatever. And I think everyone has experience doing this where they've accomplished something that they didn't think that they could accomplish, or that they didn't think they would finish, or whatever. Everyone has even just the average person in their daily life, they just do something and they're like, oh wow, like I actually finished that, or oh wow, that actually went well and I worked hard to get that and I got it. But they just don't apply it consistently. And if you apply that if you keep accomplishing things like that on a consistent basis, you just keep improving on what you're doing.
Yeah.
Because you gain momentum. And that's what all these like high-end athletes, high-end business people, Navy SEALs, whoever you want to point at, musicians, this is what they do. They're consistently working on things over time. And it doesn't all happen. Like they don't just wake up one day and go, okay, today I'm extreme. I'm going to start doing everything today. It's like, no, they do one thing at a time. Like if you're talking about, let's use a not hockey example, a guitar player, right? Like everyone knows for the most part probably who Van Halen is, one of the best guitar players of all time.
Yeah.
He didn't just pick up his guitar and start playing for 24 hours a day when he was 15. That's not what he did. He picked up his guitar first. Then he started practicing for 10 minutes. And then he's like, oh, I kind of like this. Then I don't know what his actual story is, if he took lessons or whatever. But he started learning certain things about guitar. And I was like, oh, wow, like I actually really enjoy doing this. And now all of a sudden, it doesn't feel like work. It doesn't feel like he's trying to make a habit. He's just doing what he likes doing.
Yeah.
And anyone who really loves something or has a hobby that they're really passionate about, it could be drawing, it could be bird watching, it could be anything. If it's just something you like to do, you'll just go and do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel extreme. It doesn't feel like it's a habit. And that's what's interesting about people that are from the outside, like you're saying. They look in and like, oh, how could you do that? How can you get up and work out? Or where do you get the motivation? Or where it's like, it doesn't feel like work, man.
Yeah.
Because they've built the habit now and they're like, oh, I actually just really enjoy doing this. I like the schedule. I like the process. I like the routine. That is what I actually enjoy about doing this. So the extreme part of it, it's all who you ask. It's that exact thing. So for all the kids in here, nobody thinks what they're doing is extreme. They're all doing the
Not at
same
all.
thing.
They just think they're working hard.
They just
and
think they're
know it,
working hard,
but they're enjoying it.
I just want to be a hockey player, and this is what the process is. You know,
Yep.
If you want to be the greatest mathematician of all time, what are you going to do all day? Math, man.
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do all day.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah. But you look at some of these guys I went to school with. This is literally what they do all day.
Yeah.
They work on their computers all day. They design circuits all day. That is
And
what
for
they want to
me,
do.
looking at that, I go, guys.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Are you crazy?
Yeah. Why would you do that?
Exactly.
But
you know, so it's the word extreme. It's like it depends on what
Yeah.
frame you're coming from. You know.
Yeah.
So I want to say that on that. And then the last piece you're talking about, you know, watching. This is a common thing that we get, and this is actually a Navy SEAL concept that I'm using. They talk about when people watch what they do, they're like, "Oh man, like you really get me fired up." Like Jocko's a guy that says this all the time, or David Goggins. Like it gets me so fired up when I watch your videos or whatever, and I'm really motivated. But then it goes away. It's like, so how do you keep the motivation? And it's like, okay, so when you watch things that are like that, you need to take the proper message away from it. So the message is not like we're trying to motivate you and here's your motivation for the day. Now you feel motivated. Now go do your work. It's like, no, the message to take away is that motivation doesn't actually matter, right? Yeah. It's a habit. It's a routine. It's a process. Not everybody wants to get up and go to work every day, you know, but you still get up and go. So if you have a full-time job,
you don't try to go to work.
Right. Exactly.
You don't try to do anything.
Yeah.
Like you either do it or you don't.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Exactly. So these guys, anyone who has a full-time job, whether you like it or not, you go to work because you have to.
Yeah.
And that is the same philosophy that you should be applying to whatever crazy thing or what people think is crazy thing that you want to achieve. It's like, it's not an actual option. You have to get up and go to work today. You have to get up and train today. You have to get up and eat properly. You have to get up and make the proper sacrifices to do what you want to do. There's no motivation in that. If you get up today and don't feel like it, too bad. You know, that's completely doesn't matter. And that should be more the message that when people are watching stuff like Navy SEALs, or you watch something like some great underdog story or motivational thing, that's the message you want to get out. It's not, we're just doing this to motivate you today. It's like when you actually analyze what these people are doing, it was day in, day out, if they felt like it or they didn't, if they were motivated or they weren't. All that stuff doesn't matter. It's just, this is the habit. This is what I'm doing every day. This is the routine that I need to have and I need to maintain, because that is what I need to do to get to where I want to go, which is over here.
Yeah, and one of the quotes I was just reading the other day, it doesn't matter if you like doing it, it's just a matter that you do it. You don't have to like doing it, you just have to do it. That's it.
Well, that's one of the most common things that I get kids that are just starting to learn about the habits and what it takes or whatever. Like I had one kid at the end of summer asking me, he's like, honestly, he's like, I'm so happy I'm here because I've actually had two kids that have come to mind. I'm so happy when I'm here because I have a hard time staying motivated when I'm at home. And that was exactly what I said to them. I was like, well, why do you have to feel motivated? Why don't you just do it even if you don't feel motivated? Just do it anyways. Yeah. You don't need the motivation piece, right? It's nice to have. It feels good and it makes it easier.
If you could put yourself in an environment that makes it more conducive, which is a huge word for Uncle Andy. But that's more conducive to getting the maximum out of you, then good. But sometimes it doesn't happen. And I understand that feeling. Like, when I hit the road, like I was in Guelph a couple weeks ago, and I made a commitment that I was going to exercise every day. Well, it was 4 days. I could have taken it off easily, but I made a commitment that I was going to do it every day because I'm going to be sitting around a little bit more than I'd be willing to. So the first morning it was, I got into the gym that was in the hotel, which you shouldn't call them gyms because it's a cool area and it's like nothing about it resembles working out, and the quiet and all this shit. And it's not conducive to working out at all, but I said, I'm going to work out.
Yep.
So I did what I could in that gym with what I had, and I did it.
Yep.
I actually didn't enjoy it at all. It was the longest work I've probably ever had in my life, like mentally, but whatever.
Well, we talk about it in here all the time too. Yeah. Like there's some days you just don't, and it's never a consideration.
No.
And this is what something that I get a lot is people say to me, anyone who knows me more personally, because they know how much I am into doing this stuff. They say, man, like every day you're in there every day. It's like, how do you stay motivated to be this? Like, I'm not. I rarely ever Do I feel like, man, I am so jacked up to work out today?
Yeah.
Like, I can't wait to get in the gym. Some days I do,
Yeah.
but the vast majority of the days, it's just like a no factor. It's like I'm not excited about it, but I'm not super jazzed to go in and work out. It's just like, no, like I'm working out. Like that's just what I'm doing today. It's like work.
Yeah.
You know, some people who might like their job, they might not like their job, but some days you look forward to going in, other days you don't look forward to going in, but you go either way. It doesn't matter what you feel about it inside. You're just doing it because that's part of what you do.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, the habit is you get out of bed, you grab your bag, brush your teeth, grab your bag, get in the car, drive to work, open the door, sit down, open this book, write out your workout or look over your workouts you're doing, write it on the board, and then you turn the music on and you go. There's no thoughts.
Yeah, there's no feelings.
Actually no other thoughts.
Yeah, the feelings aren't relevant to the fact that you have to do it, you know? And so that's, if you can start to integrate that into what you think about things or how you think about your whether you're an adult for whatever in life or you're a young hockey player starting to figure these things out, that is the mentality you can start to adopt for yourself, because it's like, it doesn't matter what you feel like today.
Yeah.
You know, it actually doesn't matter. You just have to do it. There's no choice. Like, if you don't, you just don't get to be a hockey player, which is what you're saying you want.